Okay, I think we are live again. Yes, we're having some technical difficulties. I apologize. We went live and then a whole bunch of stuff started happening here behind the scenes. So I had to take it down and then go back and reload it. And here we are again. So welcome back to the Circle Leadership Headquarters studio. Back here after being on the road. We just got back from Geraldton, had the Culture Forum in Geraldton on Friday. We had it here in Perth on Wednesday, and wanted to do a bit of an update and a review on the Culture Forum, just to share the feedback. We'd obviously been posting it everywhere. For those of you who had seen about the Culture Forum, how to capture the spirit of people, we put on that event. We'll be running them all throughout next year, but we wanted to kick a couple of them off this year. And while we did that, we wanted to be able to raise some much needed funds for Food Bank. As the charity of choice for Circle Leadership. And so we put the event on, and then no proceeds from these two past events will be going to Food Bank. So I want to share a little bit about that as well. But I just came back invigorated after the weekend and was speaking to the team, and I said, this is the most fun I've had at events that we've hosted and run in many, many years. I just think, obviously, the importance and power of culture in your organization, it's everything. You cannot downplay, simplify to a great extent, although I do like to simplify things, the importance of culture in organizations. Culture isn't a strategy, for example. So people think, oh, I have a strategy about my culture. No, your culture isn't a strategy. Your culture is what determines your strategy. And we shared that with people here and really shifting people's mindset, the way they think about culture in an organization. You see, a lot of people think culture in organizations today is employee engagement or a happiness measure or, our team vibe. It's definitely a measure of culture, but it's not culture. Culture isn't just, are our people happy that they love coming to work here? Culture permeates across all aspects of your organization, from your team to your clients, to your strategic partners, to the decision-making filters of your organization, to your strategy. It is everything. And so we wanted to run an event to help people understand the magnitude and importance of culture, but then understand how to create a simple framework that you can actually use to lead, live, and love your culture in your organization, because you have one, whether you have it by design or by default, you have a culture. So we ran on these events, and we had the Culture Forum on how to capture the spirit of people. And like I said, all proceeds from that went to Food Bank. So we don't have the full numbers in yet, but we'll be over $1,500 or $1,500 or more raised from the two events that are going to go towards Food Bank. And so that should be able to help at least 1,500 people have a meal this Christmas. So thank you to all of you who supported our event to help us to raise this much needed money for Food Bank, which is the charity of choice for us here at Circle Leadership. So it was really exciting for that. What was really exciting was the fact that we had our clients have the opportunity to be guest speakers to speak about their organizations, how they're building invincible cultures, and how they're capturing the spirit of their people. We had the amazing Loretta Piggott in a interview style presentation on the couch. Thanks, Alexis. Yeah, it was amazing. We're going to raise more going forward in the future, but it was very exciting, and yeah, it was great to see everyone participate. So we have Loretta here. We had a couch set up at the Perth event was at the platform in the Purpose Studio of all places to have it. We had this nice couch set up and just interviewed Loretta about Willis Temby and the work that they've done over the numerous years now, past 4, 5, 6 years, to build this invincible culture that they now have there. And they're one of the top insurance brokers and well-respected, even within their own peer group and in the industry, and how they've built such a magnetic pull for the best talent and why people want to keep working there and even come back there, and all the wonderful things that they do for their team, and then how they lead, live, and love that through all aspects of their business. We had Rob Shepard from Quantum HR, who is resourcing humans proactively. So it was phenomenal to have Rob come and share the Quantum HR story with us and the amazing work that they do with all the organizations that they serve, with the purpose, values, vision, mission work that they're doing from a resources for humans point of view. And then we had the incomparable Heidi Rodrigo from Hawaiian Property Group. It was amazing to have Heidi come and share the Hawaiian story and all the work that they've been doing, from their purpose, their values, their vision, mission, and how it permeates across all aspects of the Hawaiian group. So it was phenomenal to hear her speak, and wow, what a compelling story that was. So thank you to those people. James, unfortunately, couldn't make it to the event to speak. He was flying back in from Canada, and so he wasn't able to speak, but we did share the SSG story. SSG kindly donated $250 to each event, the Perth and the Geraldton one. But we did get up there and share their culture story. And James is a wonderful story because ever since they got their cultural framework in place, they've seen a 25% growth in their organization year on year since they had that established. And James can articulate his culture to you in 34 words or less. So once you've captured the 34 words or less to articulate why they do what they do, how they think about it, the world they want to create, and the business that they're building, and they can use that to permeate across all aspects of their business to drive a 25% year-on-year growth is phenomenal. So we had those people speak at the Perth event, and then at the Geraldton event, we were going to have Rachel Rudder from Holland Street School speak the event, but she was unable to make it at the last minute. So it was she had stuff that she had to deal with, which we totally empathize with. But once again, Holland Street School have just gone through this journey of creating this compelling culture for their organization. So we'll have her at another one going forward in the future. We had the what we call Big Checks himself, Julian Kenny, come and share the Euphorium story about how they've had a culture deck and they've had their cultural framework of sorts in place. But after we fine-tuned it and challenged and crystallized it, and their clarity of purpose, values, vision, and mission now going forward, and how they're enabling big thinking communities by venturing into the unimagined, to hear their story and how they're actually aligning that culture and strategy going forward was just really insightful, and we really value his contribution to the event. And then we had Vicky West from Glasgow up in Geraldton share their story about how they paint the town red, if you wish. If you go into Glasgow, into the factory and all over their offices, there's this massive wall with their values and their vision and their purpose all up there so they can see it from everywhere. And they bring that into all their meetings and conversations, and they use it to coach their teams. So it's really amazing to see how they were using culture as well. So we had these epic client speakers, which was phenomenal, and it really touched my heart to see that they'd be willing to share their stories with other people and how they're leading, living, loving, and building an invincible culture and capturing the spirit of their people. Because that's what this event was all about, building that invincible culture and capturing the spirit of people, because the sustainable competitive advantage, the one true sustainable competitive advantage you have as an organization is your ability to capture your spirit of your people. Now, please understand that people can copy the clicks and bricks of your organization. They can copy your products, services, processes, technologies. You can even get a technological advancement for a period of time. But the one true sustainable competitive advantage you have is your ability to capture the spirit of your people. And that's what this event was all about. How do you do that? How do you actually capture the spirit of people? And how to then not only do that, but then how do you lead, live, and love that every single day in your organization? Because we always ask people, what is culture? And at this event, we really embodied what is culture? And it's the habits, attitudes, beliefs, and everything of our people, as we would traditionally say. But one thing that we firmly believe is that it's the soul and DNA of your organization, right? It is the soul and DNA, and that is an inside-out proposition. You can go to branding companies and marketing companies, and they can create this wonderful sense of purpose or values that will look great externally of your organization, and then try to bring that into your business. But your culture should be an inside-out proposition. Is when we find out why we do what we do, how we think about it, the world we want to create, the business we want to build, we should be able to speak that with love to the market. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But it's really the soul and DNA of your organization. And then if you want to do that, we had to talk about leadership. So we went through what leadership is, which is all about helping other people become the best version of themselves to do their life's best work while in your care and beyond. And what, and understanding what leadership is, that it does not require a position or a title. And you can have all around leadership in your organization. And that we should care about our people as human beings first, employees second. So we covered all that at the forum. We went through human behavior. We went through organizational behavior. We looked at building the cultural framework and the three things that people want in an organization, the something, someone, and someone that they're looking for. We then broke it down into each of the four key components of purpose. So why does our business exist? What is the problem we're here to passionately solve in the world for the people we choose to do that for? And understanding that is so critical because people want their lives to be more meaningful. So it's up to us as purpose-driven leaders to give them work that is meaningful, full of meaning. And that's why purpose is so important. It's the seed of culture. It's the first decision-making filter. And then we shared with people how to build that depth of engagement and show people why they matter and why their work matters and why that should matter to them. And so we went through that process. So we helped them to understand that, mattering and engagement. Then we looked at values and how they guide us and how they're going to empower our teams to make smarter decisions in our organizations. And then, there we go. And then we looked at how to use your values to make your organization more innovative and how to allow your people to be creative and have freedom to think and responsibility and to build trust, and through that system of shared values, and how to use your values to do that every day in the workplace. Then we looked at your vision. So looking at the world that you see, the impact that you want to have on the world, and really what vision really is, because a lot of people's vision statements look like goals rather than actual visions. And so we showed them how to create an inspiring picture of the world that's far greater than all of us combined, and something we cannot do alone. And so we went through that at the forum. Because understand that we see a lot of people have these very small visions, because if your vision is small right now because you're uncertain of the future, well, you're missing the point of a vision. So we went through all that. Gosh, there was so much we covered in one day. And then the last piece, after looking at the hallmarks of an invincible culture, we looked at then how to align culture and strategy. And that is, how do we create a mission that will evolve our organization? And then who does our organization need to become to start creating that world that we see? And we also talked about how to make sure that you evolve and stay relevant so you don't grow out of business. And because what we're worried about right now is that a lot of people are waiting for another business to come rub their nose in a future they were destined to own. So we help people understand how to start imagining that business that does not yet exist, and from that culture and strategy alignment, so that you can evolve into the future and stay relevant, and you can evolve as a leader and make a more human organization. So in the end, you'll have, hey, look at that. A purpose that drives, the values that guide, a vision that inspires, and a mission that evolves your organization. And you'll be able to answer all those things in 66 words or less. All that was covered at the Culture Forum in Perth and in Geraldton. The last couple parts that we shared, though, is how do we, and I alluded to this here, so if culture is the soul and DNA of our organization and how we think and feel, and we speak that with love to the market, well, then what is brand when you think about that? Well, Seth Godin said the future of marketing is leadership. And what he meant by that is this, is that as a leader, we should be marketing why we do what we do, how we think about it, the world we're creating, and the business that we're building in order to bring that into reality. And that is one half the heart. And we speak that with love to the market. Now, brand, on the other hand, isn't do the flowers in the foyer match the carpets or the curtains or the seats and everything like that. That's branding, maybe. But brand is how the market and consumer thinks and feels. So if culture is how we think and feel, and we speak that with love to the market, well, brand then is how the market and consumer thinks and feels. And when we speak with love to the market can't help but respond in kind and fall in love with why we do what we do too. And this is how you bring two halves of the heart together and get everyone to fall in love with why you do what you do. And that's why culture is everything. And in the end, you build this decision-making filter for your organization through the lens of your purpose, your values, your vision, your mission, leading you through your strategy and your 3-year horizons, 1-year horizons, and your 90-day horizons, so your team are empowered to make smarter decisions. And we can focus on what matters most and what gives us traction, so that everything else is just a distraction. This was the QR code. I should have blanked that out, but that's the QR code if you wanted to book a calendar meeting with us to talk about your culture and the organization. So that was the Culture Forum. We're going to raise over $1,500 for Food Bank, at least $1,500 or more based on rough calculations so far. I want to thank all of the people who supported this event. You may not have attended, but you supported it, you shared it, you helped us get people's attention around it so that we could get a lot of money raised for Food Bank and feed those people this Christmas. We also put on an epic 2 events and opened people's hearts and minds to the importance of culture and how it is everything, not just beanbags and ping pong tables or employee engagement. Looking forward to do more of these. If you're interested in a Culture Forum, wherever you are in the world, please let us know, and we'll see what we can do to bring the Culture Forum to your part of the world. We'd be glad to do so and help people understand how to capture the spirit of people and build an invincible culture that is your one true sustainable competitive advantage. So once again, thank you on behalf of myself and the team. Big props and a shout out to Jordan and to Lisa. This event wouldn't have happened without those 2 human beings. And I just got to have the fun bit and do all the working with everyone in there. But the event behind the scenes, Lisa's our MC. Jordan coordinated and organized everything. Thank you to our venues, to the platform and the Purpose Studio, and to Pollinator City Hive up in Geraldton, who at last minute gave us their venue for free to make sure that we raised more money for Food Bank. Thank you so much to all those, and to the organizations, our client organizations, who continue to build invincible cultures and make meaningful work for people. Thank you very much on behalf of all of us.